Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and today I wanted to do an unboxing, first impressions of this LG 4K 50-inch TV. I got it at Walmart. It was more of just a budget-looking TV. I have an LG in the living room. It's a 43-inch, kind of a cheap one, and I bought it used on Marketplace. Now it's got a purple spot in it. It still works, but it's kind of annoying. It's a 1080p. This is a 4K. Now, as you can see, it's a 50UQ70. I looked that up on YouTube, and I really couldn't find any videos specifically for the U or the Q series. I'm not sure which one is, the yearly series identifier. But I went ahead. It was $300, $318 from Walmart. I was able to get it locally, so you're way less likely to have any damage when you get it from a store where they kind of probably take better care of them in shipping compared to getting individually from Amazon or online. You can already tell I'm gonna have some styrofoam mess. 2 feet, but the table or cabinet this is gonna go on, these will be too far out, so I have the metal on brand bracket that you use the VESA mounts for. I'll just transfer that onto this one. Just a regular cable. And this is pretty basic TV, so hopefully it'll be decent. You can see some of the specs on the box. This is just kind of showing the basics. I do believe this comes with a standard remote. A lot of the higher end LG TVs come with that smart remote, and I know some people complained about that, but I really don't want the smart remote anyway. There were some other options. I could have went TCL, I could have went Samsung. I had a TCL TV, it was okay, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Roku operating system. And I personally bought an S95B Samsung TV, and didn't really like their operating system. I used to like Tizen, but the one on there, so I figured I'll just get another LG. I never had a webOS. That 2017 model TV isn't a smart TV. It might have some apps built into it, but it's not like it's kind of more of a traditional TV compared to this one. I think it's going to be the webOS style. More of a traditional smart TV. It's a nice lightweight TV. The bezels are small. There might be more. They probably are like another 1/4 of an inch, but the actual plastic bezel that you see when the TV's off looks nice and slim. And you can see, I don't think there's too much here to show. I just wanted to show this in case it's a 2022 model. If you see it on clearance at Walmart, or if the 2023 model comes out and it's more expensive, this is the most up-to-date one, at least what you can get right now here in 2023, at the beginning of the year. So again, I don't think there's too much to show, but I think what I'll do is go ahead and get it turned on and then come back. There's really not much to it. It worked out nice, easy. One person can handle it. Okay, so this is the current setup with this back panel on. This is what I used. I bought it years ago for the prior TV I had. It doesn't look as nice as it should. I don't know why LG, they just keep their VESA points so close together. Most TVs you get a wider, but this still will hold, and it'll work better than the feet clear on the ends. And as you can see, you don't get too much here in terms of connectivity. You do get an optical Ethernet, which I use Wi-Fi, but I'm not even gonna, I connected it to update it, but I'm gonna disconnect it from Wi-Fi. This I can use for antenna in. Unfortunately, you only have 2 HDMIs. You have 1, and I guess 2 is the eARC. I don't know why they don't at least give you 3. I want to say that 2017 model, I think, even had 3. I know it had 2. And that one, which I also mentioned, had a composite in. I don't think it had component, but it did have composite for an old VCR DVD player in the living room. So just bear that in mind. If I want to keep using that, I'll just have to buy, which is a very affordable composite to HDMI adapter, and you do get one USB in, whether you use that for flash drive or what I'll use it for. If I do get an adapter, you can power the adapter off that. And this is the remote you get, which I actually like it. It's got a pretty good form factor. Buttons are a little bit small, that's kind of annoying, but again, you don't get the magic remote. This isn't a smart remote, it's just a regular basic remote. It's not too bad though for this price point. Just know though you aren't getting that magic remote. You do get some screws, and you get two of these cable management clips, which I think go on to, there's two little holes in the back. If you go down there, you can see they'll clip in here. There's also one in the middle here, and then one on the far end there. And then you do get this owner's manual, which I'm not sure how great it is. You do get a little bit of information and specs. Some info on how webOS works if you want to use it connected to Wi-Fi. An explanation of how this remote works and all the functions of it. Some warranty. And if you want to register it on paper. And then this, I believe, clips on to the power cord if you want it to not be able to fall out on its own. And then like one, kind of like a cable tie, which you can use to hold all your wires together. But again, you can't have too many wires since you only have two inputs. Another option you can do, they're very affordable, is you can get an HDMI splitter. I have a 3. You'll connect it into one of the ports, and it turns 1 into 3. So you net 2 new ports, and then there's a button on it to switch. I'm sure there's more expensive ones that have remotes and all that. But I like the cheap one I got on Amazon. It doesn't need power. It just works, plug into the HDMI port. But for this price point, and at this point in 2023, I think they should have at least given you 3 HDMI standard. And again, it's kind of annoying. A lot of TVs, they don't put the composite or component cable or ports on them, but they'll at least give you that AV port that is like a headphone jack size port, and you can do that. But they don't offer that either, so that's kind of unfortunate. But at this point, I do understand why that in of itself wouldn't be included. But if you're not going to do that, then at least give us more HDMI. And this is just a quick view. Again, it's not set up. I just have it in here where my filming equipment is. You do have these pieces of plastic on the bezels. I don't think there's any on the screen. I know TCL does it. I almost think even my Samsung S95B had it, but I can't remember. I think it did. I don't think this does, and if it is, it's not raised up, so I'm not even going to try and pick at it, but I'm pretty sure a TV at this price probably doesn't have that. You do also have a standby light, which you can turn on and off here, and there is a button on the bottom for on and off, but it's one of these cheap ones that this is what they all do now. I think even the S95B. It's one button, so you press and hold to confirm. And it's a long press too, you really got to hold it. And then I guess it switches, but it's pretty clunky, slow. The fact that, I'm not saying anymore I need to put all the different buttons going along, but I like those ones that at least the Samsung PC monitors used to have. It was like a nub, and it wasn't the most precise, but at least you got like a 4-way motion, up, down, left, right, and then an up for in, to where this is just a button, and I just don't like that. But if you can't use the remote, you can do at least that. And I do personally like how the settings on this TV, this is very similar to what I was used to with the crappier, cheap 27 TV, so they haven't changed too much, though it does have all the smart features and the apps and all that. I don't want it connected to that, so I just have all the same type of menus. It's pretty snappy. It's not the greatest, but at this price point, I have no complaints. And you can do some quick sound and picture. And I haven't set this up yet. I don't know if I want to use auto brightness or once it's in the living room by the window, I have to change things. I don't know if I'll play around with the color too much. But you know, you do get a decent amount of options, and then you do have energy saving and auto backlight and all that too if you want to play around with it. And then you do get this dashboard, which I kind of like this too. This works a whole lot better than Samsung's home screen or whatever it is. Again, I'm not hooked up to Wi-Fi, but you can do live TV, which I'll hook up my antenna. Then I have an Apple TV. I'll do that through HDMI. And there is built-in AirPlay. So, I mean, I think it's pretty nice. Again, I kind of regret, completely a side note, but I almost wish I would have considered the LG C2, or maybe now it's a C3, I don't know, or the the G series, because I think I really, if it's anything like this operating system, I would really be happy with it. Now, if that more expensive TV, you get the Magic Remote, and there were pointer settings for this TV, so I assume if you really want that Magic Remote, you could probably buy one and use it with this TV. This TV does have Bluetooth and everything, so you should be able to use it if you would want it, but you do get this remote included with it. But I think for this video, I'll leave it here. Again, I got to go set it up and do all that. But I'm pretty happy with it at this price point. Again, you need a cheap TV. I like the LG option. You can go to Walmart and get it. Best Buy and all those. Now, one thing I will say, if you do want to pay a little bit more money, I think it's the A series OLED. I think that's around $500. If you want to go to your local Best Buy, you pay a little bit more, but you'll get an entry-level OLED TV. I have no clue how good the A series is, and there's the B, and then the C is the one I've done my research on. But if you're not picky on TVs, this TV's fine. But if you do want to go up a little bit more, you could go into an entry-level OLED for about $200 more. And that's still around $500. That's still pretty cheap for a 4K TV. But I'm happy with this TV, as long as it holds up and lasts longer than that other one did. If the weird discoloration on the screen, I'll be happy with it. This will serve the purpose. Again, I think it's better than the Hisense and the TCL. All those are Roku platform. And then I don't think, at least my Walmarts don't sell Sony. And Samsung, again, I have the top model one, and though the picture looks great, I'm not a fan of the lagginess, the remote, or how that OS works. So I really think, this LG, it's quality, it's affordable, and it does everything I need it to. So I would recommend it, especially if it goes on sale anymore, or if a 2023 model comes out, I would imagine this would still pertain about that quality level you would get. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.